Bafana Bafana just played a 0-0 draw with Nicaragua. And I have 14 points here that I've written down from things that I've learned from the game. So let's get into it. But before we do that, welcome to the Cutback with Mpilo. Here we talk about South African football. So do make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video if you've already subscribed. It tells YouTube that this is a good video and you should show it to more people like you. So when the lineup came out, one thing I was expecting already is the fact that this is not going to be the actual starting 11 that we will have in the national team. So it was Gos, Matuludi, Kabini on the left, Ime Okon, and Umfana Luaga Makanya in the back four. And then the double pivot of Talent Mbata with Ustol and the number 10 Tembazwane. Left wing was played by Remy, and then on the right it was Sibelebele, and the striker was Lyle Foster. I think the two players who will be in the starting 11 out of all the players that I've counted, I think it's three. It's going to be probably Foster, Zwane, and Stoll. Those are the three players from the ones who started that I think will start. I'm not saying that I think should start, but I think will start. Now, obviously the lineup was okay, nothing to complain about, give other kids an opportunity. But what I would say is that I was surprised that Tembazwane started the game, because I feel as though we've already seen him in a 10 position, and Mfukeng I feel like should be starting in friendlies because we know that Zwane is the one who's going to start. Although they did bring on Mfukeng in the second 45, I think Tembazwane maybe could have done with not playing at all. But think about it, he's not been playing for Sundown, so maybe they just wanted to give him some minutes. So fair is fair. But no, I still think Mfukeng should have started in this game. Which then brings us to watching the game. Point number 2. I realized that Nicaragua were not pressing Bafana Bafana. They were just sitting in their 5-4-1. They were really dropping really deep. I'm like, and at the time, that was before I found out their FIFA ranking, because on top of point number 2, not pressurizing Bafana. Point number 3 is when it was their turn to have the ball and to try and build from the back, they just kicked it long. So there wasn't any testing Bafana to see if they can get out of a high press. There was also no testing if Bafana can do their own high press on the other side. So then to me, it was like, this is pointless, which brought us to point number 4. Nicaragua are ranked 131st in the world. And the team that they brought is their under 23. I want to read a tweet that I sent out because of this. So, Peg, in our group, 15th place is Mexico, 25th place, I think it's South Korea, and 41st place is Chechnya. So now you're telling me that we are playing teams, the lowest ranked team that we're playing against in our group for the World Cup is 41st. And if we get out of the group stage, we'll play teams that are even ranked higher. Now, this is not a dig at Hugo Bruce, but it's in whoever is helping Bafana get friendlies, because you can't be training for a World Cup where you're going to be playing teams that are there, but you train with teams that are here. Like, it's just common sense. Even I, as an upcoming coach, I know this. When we're playing friendlies in preseason, we're playing teams that are better than us. And that is why now when we're playing teams that are at our level, we look much better, because we trained and the intensity was much higher when we're doing our preseason. So then when you are in an actual competition and it's not as bad because we are already used to that. Now imagine we go and play Mexico and then there's no longer sitting back, which is what Nicaragua are doing. There's no longer kicking the ball. They're playing, and you have to press them. I think Safa did Bafana wrong in organizing this friendly. And number 5, Sibelebele had a good game. And I think I did say this 2 days ago, if not a day ago, when I was reacting to the Bafana squad. Uguti, Sibelebele might be brought in because he's played right back at Pirates, but it might also be because he can do the right back thing, but he can also do the right winger thing. And in this game, he did the right winger thing. He did it very well, so much so that he even got a penalty. Point number 6, which Lyle Foster missed. And I want to correct this because commentators, SABC commentators sometimes they footnote SABC commentators. Commentators nje anokusho umsangano. For example, the commentator today said that Thembazwane is gonna take the penalty because he was holding the ball, and then he gives the penalty to Foster. And then he's like, why have they changed penalty takers? Oh, they've missed the penalty because they changed the penalty take. I'm like, have you not seen this? Do you not watch football? Because of the fact that there was literally a study that was done. For example, Luguti, if a player who's taking a penalty stands too long with the ball, they end up being under too much pressure, and that's why they end up missing the penalty, which is why now players who are not taking the penalty will be the one guiding the penalty spot, guiding the ball, so that the keeper, when he plays mind games, he plays them on the wrong player, and then the player who's actually taking the pen will only get the ball before taking the pen. Of course, it didn't work for Foster, who missed. And the unfortunate thing is that I think Foster will be a starter for iBafana Bafana. And again, khona abantu abeze ngengqondo eBhanta la, and I keep on telling them it's the wrong channel for Bhanta. I'm not saying I want him to start. I'm saying I think he will start. And since he will start, we need him to have all the confidence that he can have. But missing penalties like that is really not going to help him with any of that. Point number 7, Bafana Bafana, as I said, were not being pressed. They were playing under 23s who are ranked under 131st in the world, who are sitting deep, who allowed Bafana Bafana to have 71% ball position by halftime. But Bafana Bafana still had 0 shots on target. That's mad. That's mad. How can you possess the ball that much and not take a shot? And this thing annoys me off. We play the ball from the midfielder to the left winger, who tries to play 1-2 with the left back, and then the ball comes back to the attacking midfielder. Then we try to go to the right wing. The right wing tries to combine with the right back. Doesn't work. It goes back to the right winger. Then it comes back to the midfield. And we keep on doing the same thing. Who's going to shoot? Because we have about talent and Bata, there was a time where we took a shot and they blocked it. But we need more of that. We need more of that because these people are defending closer to their box. So let's take shots and run after the ball so that if the keeper saves it, we try to do things. So it was a disappointing thing that first half, no shot on target. And then Bafana made a triple sub. China coming on for Kos, Reyners coming on for Foster, Mfukeng coming on for Zwane, Sibelebele off and Apolisi on, Mremi on and Mremi off and then Masego on. So point number 8. That's point number 8. And that's good. Like making those subs very early, I think that was a very good thing. But point number 9, the impact of the subs on the game, it was positive. And one thing that changed is in the first half, Sibelebele, as a right-footed player, was playing on the right, which is how traditional wingers play. And then Moremi was playing on the left as a left winger and is left-footed. But in the second half, you saw that Umaseko played on the right wing and then he was cutting in. And with him being able to cut in or cutting in, it allowed Mathuluzi to overlap and he could get the ball. We just did not utilize that. And then on this side as well, Apolis was cutting in and then Ukros was making runs in behind. Although they were not giving the ball to who crossed that match, or Kabini for that matter. So I think that could be fixed. I know obviously that once Motiba comes, it will be a different ball game. So there was a better game, and as I said, point number 10, the right-footed player will be on the right, and then the left-footed player will be on the right, and then the right-footed one will be on the left, and then we try to cut in. And in fact, this approach did work because it allowed who's this guy? It allowed Apolis to cut in and try to take shots. And as he cuts in as well, he's facing Mfukeng, and then he can combine with Mfukeng as well. Number 11, Ustol is one player that South Africans have been complaining about a lot, but I think it's fair to say in this game, he looked more like the Stoller that I know and the Stoller that I want to see. I just need him to continue playing like today, and in fact, better than today, but today it was much more promising. Point number 12, more changes. Cross came on for Kabini, Sbisi came on for Okon, and who's this? Adams came on for Mbat. I don't know why we played Adams in this game. I really have no clue. Adams has been playing a lot of games this season, and he just played the Champions League final on Sunday, and he's already playing another game for Bafana. There was no need. That is why I feel like we should have gotten at least 5 defensive midfielders or 5 defensive / box to box midfielders, because Mbatha is not just a defensive midfield. He goes forward, box to box. Mokoena does the same, box to box. Adams does the same. The one who really does play deeper is Ustol. So the other 3 do the box to box thingy. I'm just wondering, couldn't they've gotten someone else who's going to add a different dimension into that midfield? Because now they had to play Adams, who should have been saved and rested in this game. Not because I'm like, he sucks. I think he should have been rested because of how many games he's played. And the traveling from Egypt and to Egypt as well. I mean, not Egypt, Morocco. I think he should have been saved. Point number 13, Masego played very well. And I think it's performances like this that get you to start in the first match of the World Cup. So shout out to Masego. And also, point number 14, shout out to Umakanya. Always Umakanya had a very brilliant game. Well, we didn't defend that much, but in those moments, he did look assured and comfortable enough on the ball, and then assured when he was faced with a challenge. Because in games like this, where one team is attacking, and the other one is depending on counters, all you need is one moment for the team that has been defending to score, and then all of a sudden they win a match, and it seems like they were brilliant. I know. I watch my team play this season, play nonsense, and then Lilepo steps up and he scores, and then it's like we're playing good football. I'm just glad they fired those coaches. But a sequel up. What did you make of the game? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and like the video. Thank you. Bye-bye.